Okay. Okay.
Can you hear us now?
Yes, I can hear you. Yep, perfect.
Selena's telling us a story.
Okay, so I think we're okay.
Earl doesn't want to hear it. He kept interrupting me.
Go ahead, Selena.
I was just
Oh,
telling her my
sorry.
Monday story about how I set up my office at the new house, but I couldn't get one of my monitors for Loan Depot to turn on. So I called tech support this morning. He's can you check all the cords to make sure they're plugged in? I mean, I had been messing with this thing all weekend long. It wasn't plugged in.
Oh my God, Selena. That's the first thing you check.
Oh, that's okay.
I am so stupid. He's all, no, this happens more than you think. I'm like, that doesn't make me feel better.
You're like, it's definitely a Monday.
We
I
have
used
a
to
lot
work a
of
help
listeners
desk.
going on.
I used to work a help desk for a
Uh-huh.
company, and that's the first thing we asked when someone called in. Is
Oh
there
my
power? Is it plugged in?
Yeah. It looked like it was plugged in, but it wasn't actually plugged in.
That's awesome. Well, happy Monday, Selena, and everyone. So thank you guys for joining me this morning. I'm not sure where Brian is this morning. I haven't talked to him yet, but I'll catch up with him. So for those of you that were on the call on Wednesday, I just wanted to get a little feedback. Selena, I know I talked to you already. How'd you guys think it went? The broker briefing call. Did anyone get anything interesting out of it from the broker meeting?
I did.
Thank you. Well, I did get some feedback from the speakers, and the speakers were very excited to be working with you all, and especially Mr. Degnan, the attorney. He said if you guys need anything, just reach out to him. You can send him an email or send an email to his assistant, and once he sees that you're with us, he'll definitely be able to get those questions answered. So just another ally to have in our corner, because I know I get questions all the time about who's our real estate attorney. He's not the one that we refer to typically if we have something going on with the brokerage, but he has helped a lot of our clients. And me and him have a history. We actually go back to my banking days. I actually used to be his private banker, and we were reconnected a few months ago from Nicole O'Reilly because she's a friend of his. And I said, oh, I know Dave, so we've been talking over the last couple of months trying to put that together. So I'm glad he was able to join us and give you another resource that you can have for your clients as well. So, but part of the meeting that we didn't get to last week was just talking a little bit about the buyer's market. And I think for those of us that have listings right now, we're probably feeling the pain of the buyer's market a little bit. So I just wanted to kind of reiterate a little bit about what do we do in a buyer's market, and also introduce a new tool that is available through the Association of Realtors, the Phoenix Association of Realtors, at no cost to you, that might help you in this buyer market to even have that conversation with your buyers about what you're charging them to do the work. So let's start off just by the very basics. What is a buyer's market? Does everyone understand what it is and why we are currently in a buyer's market?
Buyers can get whatever they want right now.
Pretty much. I mean, in a nutshell, that's the way you break it down. I mean, a buyer's market, it just says it's a real estate market condition where the supply of homes exceeds the demand of buyers. So we have way more homes on the market than we have buyers that are buying them, which ultimately gives buyers a little bit more leverage. Home buyers are given more choices. So in the past few months where buyers were fighting over homes because there weren't many available, now, like I think I gave the example, if there was 10 homes or one home in one community a few months ago, now there's 10 homes in that same community. So buyers have the ability to choose which ones they want to go with. In addition to just the choice of the home, they're able to negotiate a little bit more. They get better pricing. They have stronger leverage when it comes to the negotiations, because ultimately they can say, hey, I'll just go with the house down the street. That'll give me this or give me that. And like I said a little bit ago, that those of us that have listings are kind of feeling the pain of this. I talked to Hannah yesterday, and Hannah is feeling the pain of this buyer's market. But we're gonna get that one under contract too, Hannah.
I need lots of prayers. lots of prayers.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We're definitely sending prayers your way. So in a buyer's market, let's talk a little bit about the buyers. What does that mean for your buyers though? Like, how can you entice buyers right now in a buyer's market? How do you find them? What do you say to them?
Guess tell them
If
they
they-
can whatever they want and see what they pick. I don't know.
If they can afford rent, they can
Yeah,
afford a
pretty much.
mortgage.
There you go. Yep. Just let them. The sellers are willing to negotiate lots. We've had two $20,000 price reductions on our listings in the last couple of days. Let them know that they can afford to negotiate. So as we're talking to our buyers, these are the things that we're talking to them about, letting them know what a buyer's market ultimately means for them. So I was going to ask, and hopefully we get some good responses on this one, but how do you explain to your buyers when you approach your buyers, how do you explain to them what it is that you actually do for them? Because now we're in a situation where the buyers are paying us our compensation. So it's not necessarily coming from the sellers. In most cases it does, but our initial consultation with our buyers, we're actually telling them that they're going to have to pay us this certain dollar amount. How do you explain what you do for them?
You mean like marketing and finding buyers?
Well, so that's what we do for our sellers. For our sellers,
sorry.
we talk to them about, yeah, that's okay. About marketing, about putting the house on the market, about open houses, about pretty much everything we do for our sellers. But for your buyers, when you sit down with them and you say, well, Mr. Smith, I'm going to be your buyer's agent. I'm going to represent you as your agent. And because of that, or for that, I charge a 3% compensation fee. And if for some reason we cannot receive it from the seller, you'll be responsible for paying that to me. So how do you tell them what you do for that 3%? Because I'm Mr. Smith and I'm going to ask. So 3% seems to be a lot. So can I just go to Zillow and find my own house? Like what is it that you do that I'm paying you 3% for? Or 2% or 2.5% or the flat fee that you negotiated?
Or the main thing that comes to mind to me is like the negotiations part. Aside from like the paperwork that you help them with.
Yeah.
I guess the negotiations thing would be like the biggest thing for me. But I'm trying to think of what else, because you're not marketing for them, so that's kind of off the table. But I'm anxious to hear what everybody else says.
Yeah.
I think if they're fairly new to that process as well, you just kind of make them feel reassured. Any questions you have, I can, I'm here for you. You just kind of keep reiterating that to them and telling them, I'm here for you, no matter what, any questions, reach out. You just kind of, make them feel safe through that process and show them, and then, they'll see it.
Sure. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Anyone else? I mean, truthfully, we can be at this all day, just because I was reading the article, and I'm going to go through some of the things that we do for them. But to Maria's point, would you go into a courtroom without an attorney? Some people will say yes, but we are licensed professionals to help them through this process, to help them with the negotiations. Also, if you were to find a house on Zillow and you needed to write a contract for that house, to Hannah's point, you're not going to know how to write that contract. You're not going to know how to put that together, and then you're not going to know when to negotiate, because you've never done this before on your own. Although there's some people out there that believe they could. Well, just reading a few days ago, it says that the average realtor spends 200 different things within one transaction, from your consultation, your initial consultation with them, when you sit down with them and you tell them this is what the process is going to be, kind of what Maria was saying. The low pre-qualification assistance, getting them connected to their lender, or if they don't already have a lender, or one of your preferred lenders. The home search is a big one, just because now you've determined what it is that they're looking for. You set up a search online for them to kind of specify exactly the homes that they're looking for. After actually finding the house, you now have to go out and show the houses to them. So that's a big portion of it. They really can't do that from Zillow. The market research and comp. So once they do find the house, you're pulling comps on the house to just show, hey, this is what we think it will appraise for. This is what we think you should offer. Again, we work for them, so they tell us what direction they want to go, but we give them all the facts and the research that they need to make the most informed decision for themselves. Writing the offers, and in the process of things, we're taking into consideration the comps. We're taking into consideration the concessions, the appliances, the inspection. I mean, these things all take time. Negotiating the contract is a big one, just because, again, they don't know what to negotiate, and we do. We're with them through the inspections. We're with them through the walkthroughs. We're going through the inspection reports and writing the benzers and make sure we're checking off the items that we typically see. Again, we work for them, but we're showing them and letting them know that we're in their corner to help to uncover anything that may come up. The coordination with the lender and the title, again, our wonderful TC, or sometimes ourselves, we're kind of going through and coordinating with the lender and the title company and the inspectors and sometimes the builders. So we're a part of all of that. And then the closing day, we're there. We're supporting them to make sure that they get their keys on time after recording, make sure that we're celebrating their new success. And there's a lot of different moving pieces when it comes to a real estate transaction. And according to statistics, it's saying that it's roughly 200 different things you do in one transaction. So with that being said, what are we paying you for? You still ask that question. So knowing that we do about 200 things within one real estate transaction, this is a buyer transaction. How many hours do you think we spend as real estate agents in each transaction for each buyer? Just throw out a number. There used to be a number out there that was like 16 hours, I think it was. But that has changed. So how many hours do you think we spend with each buyer?
30.
30 is a good number. Anyone else?
I'm going a little bit higher, maybe at 40.
40. Okay. That's also a good number. Anyone else? I'll take one more.
50.
50. Okay. So we got 30, 40, and 50. And none of you are wrong. It says that on average, it's between 25 and 50 hours per buyer. And it could be up to 60 or 70, depending on if you have indecisive buyers or a multiple offer situation, or someone that doesn't know the area, like out of state. They don't know the difference between Goodyear and Queen Creek. I've actually had that person. Highly competitive market. If you have to write multiple offers, if you're getting into escalation clauses, if you're doing new construction, and the longer the timelines, that you have more walkthroughs. You have the what do you call it when the sticks go up? The framing walkthrough. Then you have the drywall walkthrough. Then you have the blue tape walkthrough. Then you have so it could take more time. VA or FHA financing. Sometimes with the VA or FHA, you have appraisal issues, so it could take more time and you have to be involved with those things. So just imagine if you have one buyer over the course of, let's call it 60 days, that's a long escrow, but you spend 50 hours with them. That's more than a week's worth of work. Okay, Lillian, enjoy the rest of your day. That's more than a week's worth of work in the traditional working sense. So that is what you're charging them for. So anytime they question that, we can now with the new tool that's being offered by the association, provide a detailed list of the things that we do for them. It's an app that they can download. It's a tool called Rise.com or Raise. It's WAYSE.com. For those of us that are members of the Phoenix Association of Realtors, they can use this service at no charge. For those that are part of We Serve or one of the other associations, just let me know if you're interested, and we'll figure out a way for you to get access to it also. But how nice would it be if we can show our clients at the end of, or even during the transaction, everything that's going on in their transaction? We can check mark it and they can see it as they go down the line, all the way to the very end when we're able to just give them a report of everything that we've done in the transaction. I personally think that it's super beneficial, because I try to keep my clients updated right now. If I'm not talking to them every week, I'm showing them houses and things like that. We're having a bi-weekly meeting just to say, hey, well, last week we saw 6 houses. The week before that, we saw another 6. I noticed that there was 3 that you really liked, and kind of trying to narrow them down, especially if you have those indecisive people. But this app will also calculate the time that you drive to show houses, or you any time that you spend with the buyer, so it ultimately will be able to calculate exactly what's going on in the transaction, so that it helps to justify, if you have to justify, the amount that you're charging them. So definitely think it's a good tool. I would encourage you to, I think Brian sent it out last week, but I'll send it out again. It's RAYSE.com, and it's a service that is no cost to you. But if you want this to be able to show to your buyers, I would definitely use it. In addition to just that part of it, though, it does create buyer guides for you. So your buyer consultation guides, I know Nicole and some of the other title companies that we use can create them for you as well. But this one is one specific for this app. So if that's something you want, just log on and get that taken care of as well. So, any questions so far about that?
Earl, I just went to the website to check it out. So because I'm part of the We Serve, like the East Valley, Southeast Valley, do I need like a special permission for that then? Yeah.
So I would say, let's talk this afternoon and I'll figure out how to get you on there, because the brokerage is a part of Phoenix and you're part of the brokerage. So we just have to figure out, it's a special code that we have to give you so that you can still get onto it.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah. I definitely would encourage everyone to use that, especially in this era that we're in, where buyers are questioning, what it is that they're paying for and thinking that they can do it by themselves. So what else did I have? Oh, open house opportunities. We have currently 9 active listings, and we have 2 pending listings on the way. Hannah has 2 new listings coming on the market next week. Hannah, is that right?
Hopefully, if all goes well.
Okay. Well,
still
we'll have
the agreement for the one, and then the other one is just wrapping up a few details. So.
Okay. So we'll have a couple more listings coming, but we have a coma that was just reduced by $20,000. And so now it's down to $415,000. We have a very motivated seller that wants to sell this home. And unfortunately, it did go under contract twice, and it's fell out of contract twice. The second one was it sounds like it was a personal issue that the buyers were having. So they did back out within the grace period, the 10-day inspection period. But at this point, we really need to get this house under contract. So I believe there's an open house scheduled this Saturday with Lillian did she give you a time yet?
11 to 1:30. So if anybody wants to join her, that she's happy to have anybody join her. If you want to extend the time and stay longer, I do notice people start coming in or are still coming in around 2:00. So
okay.
In the past.
Well, that was a good one. I know Hannah, and we talked yesterday, and she shared with me that she got quite the audience. The one of the last times she did the open house, and knowing again that it's a buyer's market, it's a great time to get out there and get the buyers because they have some leverage right now. So open houses are a great way to do that. So yeah, if you have any interest, I would say reach out to Hannah and see if we can get an open house on the books, or if you're interested in helping Lillian on Saturday, please reach out to her directly as well. The property on Flintlock has also been reduced by $20,000 from $485 to $465. Again, we have very motivated sellers that have actually moved out of the state already. So this house is vacant and available for open houses pretty much any day of the week. We've lowered the price from $485 to $465. We have gotten some traction, but still no offers on the table. There is a house that we have on 8914 West Palo Verde out in Glendale near the Cardinal Stadium. That one also had a price reduction. I believe it was at $475 and now it's at $459. So that's a beautiful house. It was built just a few years ago. And if anyone's interested in doing an open house there, I would reach out to Brian to get that one set up. I know B has a really nice house on about a little bit over an acre lot, I believe, out in Buckeye. It's listed at $835. So if anyone wants to do an open house there, just reach out to B. And then she has another one, and Surprise, it's listed at $355. I would just reach out to B if you're interested in doing an open house there. But if anyone's looking for buyers, so knowing that it's a buyer's market, the buyers are out and they are looking. So it might be an opportunity to set up an open house and capture some of those buyers, so that you can work with them. I think this one ran a little short, actually, because I was trying to fill some of the meeting from last week. So does anyone have anything that they would like to add for the good of the group? Okay. Well, I'm going to give you about 5 minutes back in your Monday. So everyone have a great day. I will be in the office this afternoon or this morning until about 12:30 or so. So if anyone needs anything, just give me a call or pop in. And I will look forward to talking to you all soon.
Thank you.
Thanks, Earl. Bye,
Okay.
guys.
Have a good day.
Thanks, Earl.
Bye.